Right now we're joined by the Honorable Deputy Minister, Chief Holomisa, who has been with us from the Vyfhoek Technical School on the School Safety Intervention Roadshow. He's going to tell us more about the words and the support that he has been giving and why we are here also today. Honorable Deputy Minister, thank you for joining us on DBE TV. How has your involvement been and how has the response been on the roadshow that we had?
Well, I was here at the invitation of the Deputy Minister of Basic Education, Dr. Mhaule, as she was conducting a roadshow on ways of preventing and combating bullying, pregnancy by teenagers, drug abuse by learners, alcohol abuse, and everything that is antisocial that is happening in our schools these days. The reason I think she invited us from the Department of Correctional Services, besides other departments, was the fact that our correctional centers are overcrowded.
Yes.
And many of the inmates there, the offenders,
Yes.
are young people. And a number of the crimes that they have committed have a genesis from the social disintegration of cohesion.
Yes.
In society as a whole. So we were therefore to give a message of support to the campaign that parents themselves must be the first people to combat these social ills I've just mentioned. They must not outsource their responsibility to government.
Yes.
Communities also are responsible for allowing criminals
Yes.
to sell drugs in places like the spaza shops, which are close to the schools. They know who those criminals are. And even when they call the police, they don't tell them the truth about where the drugs are, who are responsible for the selling of the drugs. And also to emphasize to the learners that there should be a difference between teasing a fellow learner and bullying
Yes.
a fellow learner.
Yes.
So they must continue to be children, to be young, but at the same time, they must be sensitive towards each other's feelings.
Yes.
So to answer the question of how was the reception, I think the reception was good, the message that we conveyed. They understand now that the responsibility starts with the individual,
Yes.
the family, the community, and then the state and government and so on.
Yes.
So we all have to put our shoulder to the wheel and not outsource all responsibility for what needs to be done for us to create the great nation that South Africa can be.
Because on the roadshow we saw some inmates giving some words of motivation. Some were just inspiring us with their music and sending out messages. Do you think the message was emphasized enough by that?
I'm sure you were in the hall.
Yes, I
You
was.
could see the adulation that the audience showed.
Absolutely.
First to the motivational speaker, who is a life-sentenced prisoner, and also the choir,
Yes.
made up of young people who are inmates in our correctional centers. The talent that is there, that has been unearthed by our rehabilitation programs, shows that indeed we are now no longer just a prison service, but we are a correctional service, which is aimed at not just punishing. Ours, in fact, as correctional services, is not to punish
Yes.
offenders, but to keep them.
Yes.
It's the courts that decide to punish them by depriving them of the liberty and the right for them to live with their families and friends. We are, when they come into our centers, each and every inmate, there's a system that they are subjected to.
Yes.
To establish what kind of education they have,
Yes.
what level of education do they have, what skills do they have, what type of training they have an aptitude for.
Yes.
So that we don't take a person who can be good as a mechanic or a plumber or an electrician and try to teach him to be a lawyer or a medical doctor. So we do that. If you have a talent for singing and dancing, if you have a talent for speaking too much, like the motivational speaker was speaking, we channel you in that direction.
Sure.
So that the innate skills that they have
Yes.
are exposed for the
Yes.
benefit of the society. Because once they have skills that they can use positively, then they will be in that way contributing to the reduction of crime in
Yes.
society.
Yes. Thank you so much, Nkosiam. Really, the work that you do. We also had some good news that you always produce 100% when it comes to the results. So keep up the good work, and thank you for the valuable support that you're giving us also in the Department of Basic Education in these programs.
Thank you very much.